All right. So, welcome everyone to our new student check in with advisors. We have a few guests with us as well today. I'm Renee Finnemore. I'm one of your academic advisors here. You've heard from me several times as you were getting onboarded with emails with things you need to know. And I'll let Adriana jump in and say hi.
I'm Adriana. I'm the other advisor. You've probably also seen my name in some emails, but it's nice to see your faces and say hi to you today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Minoska Hernandez. I'm the admission specialist for the program. Probably recognize my name just from when we were, communicating for admissions. So I'm glad to see some of you guys here.
Hi, I'm Shelley Hall. I am one of the field faculty in the online track, and we will get to know you in a couple semesters. So welcome.
Great. So, like I said, we're going to be recording this session and sending the link out to everyone. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to email us. And we will have time at the end for questions. So, our goal for today's session is really to help you better understand what to expect as you're moving through the online MSW program. So, we're going to focus on what you can expect with your classes, with handling finances and financial aid, and what to expect in coming semesters with field placement. Adriana, do you want to talk about classes?
Sure, definitely. You might have noticed that your classes online follow a similar outline to the orientation that you completed on web courses. So 7-week classes, they're accelerated. So we know that you have a ton of reading in your first class. Um, and not so much interaction with your cohort mates or your instructor, but we promise that that will be different in your upcoming classes. This first one is just kind of heavy. Registration, the first semester, we register you for your enrollment. You have this current class that you're in, and in October, you'll start your second class, the diversity class. But in subsequent semesters, you'll enroll yourself. We'll be sure to send you an email outlining exactly what to do, exactly what to register for, so you won't be confused. And we promise that you have space in the classes, so it's not a rush to get what you need. So it's not too stressful. So I will send that email out for spring, probably in November, maybe early November, so you can get registered for spring. So keep an eye out for that. On your dashboard in web courses, you might have seen the pressure to plagiarize module. Make sure that you complete this and submit your grade by the deadline stated, or a hold will be placed on your account, and that will block your registration for the upcoming semester. And they're not super responsive. So if you have trouble getting that hold lifted, if you see it on there or you have trouble getting any confirmation about it, just reach out and let us know and we'll see what we can do. The other thing to pay attention to is in My UCF, when you are in your student center, on the right-hand side, you'll see a to-do list. So if you applied and you hadn't submitted your final transcript yet, you might see a final transcript hold that you need to, or a to-do item about your final transcript. You also might see financial aid items that you need to complete. So pay attention to the holds and the to-do list items as they're important for getting your financial aid released or just getting things done. That you might also see one for your graduate plan of study. That is something that you've completed during the orientation. So that has already been submitted if you see it on your to-do list. Anything else, Renee?
Minoska, do you want to talk about the to-do list item regarding transcripts?
Sure. So for your transcripts, if you guys have just graduated or perhaps you graduated after you applied to the program, um, it's going to have you're going to have a hold because you still need to submit your final transcripts. So to do that, you have to submit that to gradscanning@ucf.edu. It may take still some time. So if you want, you can CC me to your email. That way they know I'm aware of the situation and they can get that done, quickly. But that your final transcripts have to be submitted. That's the only way to remove that hold. So what I'll do is I will put in the chat my email. and then the grad scanning email as well, and just send it to me and we can get that done for you guys, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Minosco. So Adriana, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that typically what happens is you got accepted if you had an in-progress bachelor's degree when you were accepted. So either you graduated in the spring before after you initiated your application to UCF, or you graduated in the summer, so your degree conferral was later. They allowed you to enroll, but you need to submit that transcript, and typically they want it by like the middle of this first semester. So like you have a deadline of October to submit that. So you want to make sure that you're checking those my UCF to-do list items and getting those submitted, because they will remove you from the program if they don't receive your final official transcript from your institution showing that your degree was conferred. So if you have any concerns about that, you can reach out to either Minosca or to me and Adriana, and we can kind of help figure out what your status is specifically to you. So, okay, so I think the next thing we're going to talk about is finances. So if you are going to be using federal financial aid for your program, you want to submit the 2023-2024 FAFSA. On October 1st, next year's FAFSA will open, so you can go ahead and submit that as well. That will cover next year. You'll find in your MyUCF, in the Student Center, there is a place for financial aid, and you'll find your award there. You should get an email telling you that you've been given an award. You just need to go in and you can either accept the whole amount that they've offered you, you can reduce it and take a lesser amount, or you can decline it altogether. Just know that the way UCF does calculations for financial aid, you will receive you probably see like you already have a fall and a spring award. You will receive a separate award for summer. So you do not need to save any money that you are awarded in fall or spring to cover your summer expenses. You will receive a summer award. The way disbursement works, that differs by semester. So in the fall and spring semester, you need to be actively enrolled in at least 4.5 credit hours in order for your financial aid to pay out. So right now you are active in 3 credits because you have 1 class going on. Once term 2 starts and you start that second class, then you will reach that minimum 4.5 credit hours of active enrollment, and your financial aid will pay out. So it will disperse, it will pay your tuition and fee invoice, and then refund you any surplus that you might have accepted over that amount on your invoice. That is the same process for spring. In summer, the same thing happens, but the minimum enrollment requirement is 3 credit hours. So you'll see that, in fall and spring this year, your financial aid will not disperse until the second week of term 2, but in the summer, it will disperse in the second week of the first term. So just because the enrollment requirement is less. Once you transition into your field placement years, generalist placement and clinical placement, you'll add field placement courses to your schedule. And so you will be actively enrolled in enough credits for your aid to disperse right at the beginning of the semester. With this, though, because of the way this is structured, you'll see that our payment deadline for tuition and fees is later in the semester. So you got that initial fee invoice that said your tuition and fees was probably due around like September 1st or 2nd. But now it's been updated to reflect the actual program deadline, which is November 10th for fall. So it's really important that you pay close attention to the calendar that we provide you, because this program operates on special dates. So everything about the program is structured a little bit differently than the main campus university-wide calendar. And you can trust that the information that we've sent to you is what you should follow unless we tell you otherwise. So the add drop deadlines are different. The start and ends of the term are different. The semesters might look a little different, and definitely our financial aid information is different. So, as Adriana mentioned, you want to make sure you complete any to-do list items in your MyUCF. This typically happens if you have a change from before. So especially if you were enrolled as an undergrad in the 2023-2024 academic year, you may run into difficulty because you need to update your FAFSA to show that you've graduated and that your pursuing graduate level work that will make your eligibility different, and note you as an independent student if you weren't as doing your bachelor's degree. They may ask for verification if anything has changed about your situation, finance, any of that. So, and then lastly, I would say there's sort of like a main hotline number for financial aid, and sometimes the wait time can be extended. So, but because we operate on these special dates and it's a very small number of students at UCF that follow this schedule, sometimes when our students call financial aid, they don't always get the most accurate information for their situation because they can't see that difference in things. So before you call financial aid, reach out to me or Adriana so that we can sort of troubleshoot with you. And if you do need to speak to someone in financial aid, we will actually connect you with a specific staff person that we partner with there who's very familiar with our two-term structure and all of the loan policies and things, and can really help to get you quicker service. So that's our goal, is to kind of make it as seamless for you as possible. So rather than calling that main number, reach out to us. Okay, so just a quick overview on field placement. You will begin a generalist field placement in semester 4. So this time next year in fall 2024, you'll be starting your first field placement. It's 10 hours per week at an agency. If you're curious about what field placement is like, there's lots of resources in the advising portal that talk about the types of things you'll do, the types of agencies we partner with, what it kind of looks like to be a student in field. And just know that next semester, you will begin the field placement process for next fall. So you'll be getting invited to attend kind of a virtual advising session like this to learn more about field placement and what to expect. And then you'll get added to a non-credit web course, similar to kind of how we did our orientation to this program, where you'll have assignments that will orient you to field placement and documents that you'll need to submit. So very similar to what you did here. So just know that you will get partnered with a field faculty like Ms. Hall, who will work with you to secure a placement and match you to an agency in your area. So that's our process. Students are not allowed to seek out their own placements, so just wait until that placement process starts to connect with your field faculty, to talk about your specific situation and your concerns, and they'll be able to really give you like very detailed answers to your questions. Okay, I'm going to take a break on talking and let Adriana kind of jump in here now.
Sure. So when you began the program, you should have all received a UCF email, which is your NID@ucf.edu. We ask that you only contact us from this email address, as it's really the only authorized method of communication we're supposed to use with you in terms of email. So if you email us from like your work account or your personal account, we're not supposed to respond to you with any personal student information. So be sure to use that UCF email. It's also very important that you check that email, because all of the communication from your advisors in the university will come to that email address. So I'm talking about registration, financial aid, anything that you expect to do or need or anything like that is going to be in that email. So be sure to check it. If not daily, at least a few times a week. It's especially important when you get to field time, because when you submit that application and you start the placement process, you're going to be going on interviews for your placement, and you have 48 hours, I believe, to contact an agency after you've been matched for an interview. So you want to be sure that you're not missing any big deadlines like that. Faculty will have their contact information within their syllabus. So when you get into the program, into the class, you can check the syllabus and you'll see the preferred contact method for your instructor. So sometimes that's a UCF email, sometimes it's through web courses. So just check it and be sure you know how to get in contact with your instructor. Advisors are here for you whenever you need. We also have that advising portal, which is sort of like a 24/7 advisor, but you can schedule appointments with us on the phone, ask us any questions via email. We can set up any kind of appointment with you for that. We primarily help you with your plan of study, anything academic. If you have questions about taking a break in the program, which is not advised, but sometimes things happen. So if you have a medical issue or a pregnancy or something's happening and you may need to sit out, please contact us as soon as possible so we can work that out with you. You also have a success coach. Her name is Barbara Bush. You may have been contacted by her during your application process through enrollment, and you'll be hearing from her pretty often throughout your time in the program. And she is a great person to reach out to if you're having help with or if you need help with time management, things like study tips, or if you need to be connected to another department on campus. If you want to know how to use the Writing Center, or if you're interested in something in the library and you want to get connected to the social work librarian, she's somebody who can help you find those resources throughout the campus. I mentioned before, we have the online MSW advising portal that's on your dashboard in web courses, and it just has several modules with information that you need. So that academic calendar is posted there. If you ever forget when a term begins or you need to know something for an upcoming trip, that's where you'll find that information. There's stuff in there about field, obviously, but also if you lost your plan of study, you can find one there. There's lots of good stuff in there. And then we have a Facebook group. So in your email, when you were enrolled in classes for the semester, I put a link to the Facebook group. Anything that we post there that we share widely with the students, we also post on the advising portal. So you won't miss anything if you're not on Facebook, but it's a good place to chat with other people in the different cohorts. And we also have a lot of alumni on that page. So it's a good way to see what job postings are out there, what other people are doing in their communities. It's a good group. So I encourage you to join that. And so just to clarify here with these are the things that you should reach out to us, your advisors for, plan of study. If you have any questions about the academic policies or procedures of the department or the university, your requirements towards graduation, and anything that might affect your academic performance. So maybe you had a loss in your family or a car accident at the beginning of the semester and you have some medical issues or something that is going to prevent you from maybe doing your best academically, reach out to us, even if you don't think it's that important, so that we can sort of navigate the process with you. If you need to be put in contact with anybody, or if we can set up some things to help you succeed in the semester, we will do our best.
And then I know you spoke extensively about Barbara, but just to give you some ideas about your success coach, and everyone should be receiving emails from Barbara already. I know she is really great about reaching out. I really think that Barbara, her personality is that she is a champion of student success. So she really is, if you need a cheerleader, Barbara is your person. So she really can, I tell students, like, the thing about a success coach, this is a service that you're paying for as part of your tuition and fees. And if there's something about your life that you're like, if I could just make some changes with this, like everything with my academics would be so much better, Barbara's the person to help you figure that out. She can, help you sort of strategize, help you identify goals and break down, steps to achieve that, and really help keep you on track and motivate you, much like she did when she was helping you with your application. She can do that with anything that you're dealing with throughout your time in the program. So, and she really is very knowledgeable about resources, both at UCF, but also in the community. So she really can really be a great part of your support network here at UCF. So I encourage everyone to, make some time to work with her through at some point in the program. And then that's actually the end of our presentation. We kind of whipped through that pretty quickly, but this is your chance now to go ahead and ask us any questions that you might have, and we'll do our best to try to answer them for you.
Hello. Yes, I just have a question. Where do we submit the grade for the plagiarism that was mentioned in the beginning of the meeting?
I think there is an email address listed in the web course, or I want to tell you what it is, but I don't remember. Is it grad services? Renee, do you remember what it is? I believe it is gradservices@ucf.edu. but it should be listed within that web course once you see it. I'm not sure if it posts right away or if it comes up in the middle of the semester when it appears on your dashboard, but it will have the contact information. And if you can't find it, definitely shoot us an email and we'll be sure to point you in the right direction.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's another module in there too we didn't mention that's called Let's Be Clear, which is similar. It's similar in structure to the pressures to plagiarize. It's something that is put out by the College of Graduate Studies. It's required of every graduate student, and it's really to familiarize you with the policies and procedures at UCF related to student conduct. So that's another one of those things where you're going to have assignments that you need to complete by a deadline, or you'll see a hold for that. So that's another one you'll need to do. And then I did have a student reach out to me the other day because I know that part of your assignments in your first class is to complete a module on plagiarism and APA formatting, and just know that that's actually within your class. So that is not the same as the pressures to plagiarize. That's an assignment within your course. So if you have questions about that, you'll want to reach out to your course instructor for clarification. So I know that can be a little bit confusing because those actually launched right around the same time this semester, but they are two different things.
Sorry, I have another question. When will what is the time frame that we need to submit the application for the generalist field placement?
Kelly, do you know what the dates are for when you're going to launch fall 2024 field?
I don't know dates, but let's think, Renee. When?
It's typically in like January or February, I would say, sometime around there, maybe even March.
No, they would
Okay.
get it in, yeah. So you'll get it,
February.
yeah, probably around February, but it'll come up as a course. We call it the placement process course, just like your orientation course. So it'll pop up on your dashboard.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Is there, like, when this semester ends, will some of those like courses and things like that go away, or do they just keep like stacking on there?
You can choose,
Okay.
your what you see on your dashboard. You can choose favorites if you star them. I think if you click the star, it'll drop down and let you know if you want to remove it from your dashboard. There will always be a list of all of the classes that you've been in listed in web courses. It's courses on the left-hand side, but you can coordinate your dashboard so it doesn't all have to stay there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we'll be sharing this with your cohort in the next few days, so you can review it as as needed. And then if you remember or you think of anything afterwards, you can feel free to give us a call or send us an email. It's usually easier to reach us by email, so we suggest starting with that. And then if you want to have a call or a video chat, anything like that, we can set something up for you. And we'll hang around for just a couple more minutes, but that is the end of our presentation, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.